Hello again, and welcome back to Granny Dorothy Visits. Today's topic is, sure, there was fear, but I refused to feed it. In the first reading from Wayne Dyer's Everyday Wisdom. If you're committed to seeing your physical self with wonder and awe, and if you can know deep within that your invisible self wants the body it inhabits to be as healthy as possible, then you're a student who is ready. And the next reading from Julia Cameron's Heart Steps. The quote at the top of the page is from Ernest Holmes. No matter how imperfect the appearance may be, or painful or discordant, there is still an underlying perfection, an inner wholeness, a complete and perfect life, which is God. And this is entitled, My Physical Health Rests on a Spiritual Foundation. My body is the beloved vessel for my spirit. I treat my body with tenderness and gentle respect. I offer my body friendship and support. My body speaks to me of my spirit's needs. When I need rest, my body asks me to refresh my spirit. When I am hungry, my body asks me to nourish myself, body, and soul. When I listen to my body's cues and signals, my spiritual path unfolds with clarity and power. Spirit speaks to me through body. We embody our spiritual lives. As I recognize my body as an equal partner to my spirit, my soul strength increases. As the health of my soul becomes radiant and alive, the health of my body takes on new vitality. Body and soul are one life, one essence. I salute them as loving partners. My body and soul live in vibrant harmony. And the last one from Dr. Gladys McCary, The Well-Lived Life. And she said, I had faced cancer before in 1961. Back then, Bill and I had just begun gaining notoriety for our work with holistic health when an egg-shaped tumor began to grow on my thyroid. Within weeks of my first noticing it, it had grown to 1 inch long. My oldest child was a teenager, and my youngest was just a year old. I was unsure whether to pursue allopathic treatment or try to heal it naturally, so I asked for a dream to tell me what to do. Right away, I dreamed of the plants that could help me, aloe, cotillo, and the ash from the burnt wood of aspen trees. I was blessed to have a strong support network at the time, so I cut back on my busy schedule and began an intense fasting regime supported by meditation and prayer. I treated myself daily with the plants from my dreams. Over the course of several months, the tumor shrank and eventually it disappeared. My decision to heal my tumor naturally spread through the burgeoning holistic health community. People marveled at the miracle that had taken place. As both a leader in natural health and an MD, I thought that it was important that I had demonstrated what is possible. When I found a tumor in my breast 5 decades later, I wondered whether I should attempt to heal it that way again. Yet my life had changed drastically since that time. My body was much older. The intense fasting I had done before would have been harder for it to withstand. At the same time, Western treatments had developed significantly, particularly for the type of tumor I had. I had options that, though still invasive, were much more gentle and better targeted. Most important, I was hard at work on many other projects that were using my life force and giving me juice in return. Though I wasn't closed to the idea of healing the tumor naturally, I knew it would take a good deal of effort. I didn't feel the same call to go public with my healing and share the miracle with others. It felt more personal this time. I wasn't terribly afraid, but I was aware that the more quickly I decided, the better my chance of success would be. I asked for guidance and saw that my contemplations and dreams backed up my suspicion. At that point in time, and with that particular tumor, a Western approach was the right choice for me. That didn't mean I was off the hook for participating in my healing, though. I teamed up with an oncologist and a surgeon. Together, we worked to remove the tumor. They were in charge of radiology and lumpectomy. I was in charge of visualizing and loving myself into health. I thought back to what I'd once told a patient about surgery. When a gardener prunes a tree, he takes away the parts that are no longer adding to the life of the tree. They fulfilled their purpose, and now they're done. My tumor was the same. I loved myself, my body, and my life too much to let it take any more of my life force. Just as I'd done in my first bout of cancer, I put all my focus on that love and refused to let myself fall into fear. In the weeks before the surgery, I started talking to the lump. I pictured it like a pretty little hand-tooled suitcase. "Darling, we're going to have a family reunion," I told my tumor. "If there are other cancer cells in my body, call them together and tell them to get in the suitcase and come on the trip." When the time came, I went into surgery joyfully, knowing that my body would be healthier with that piece removed. I took a similar approach to radiation, choosing to look at it in a matter-of-fact way, like clipping my toenails. There were cells I didn't need anymore, and I was doing what I needed to do to get rid of them. I wasn't mad at the cells or afraid of them, but they were not serving my well-being. The treatment worked, and my second journey with cancer was as short as my first. I have no doubt that the allopathic treatments I chose were an important step to healing. I'm also certain that the way I thought about receiving those treatments and the visualization of the suitcase were just as important. I made the decision with love and supported it with more love. Sure, there was fear, but I refused to feed it. I also refused to reject my body for a few multiplying cells. I felt as proud of my body then as I do today. This body is amazing. I love all the things that it has done and all the things it has yet to do. Whenever my patients or loved ones are faced with a challenging diagnosis like this, I encourage them to keep on loving their bodies anyway. I also encourage them to visualize their healing, creating their own imagery, like my hand-tooled suitcase. Some people find creating their own imagery difficult. They want me to come up with an image for them or suggest a right way to do it. It requires a good deal of trust to believe that the image we find will work. And those who are really limited in self-love often struggle to trust themselves too. But you are the only one who can come up with your imagery. You must find the physician within, the one who knows how to heal, and start to trust. This is part of how we direct our conscious mind toward transforming the unconscious. The unconscious offers up the images we need to heal. Each of us has to find an image that works for us and feels real, and we have to do it with as pure a love as we can muster. I've seen this age-old method work time and again, even and especially when a patient feels skeptical about his or her ability to find the right image. That's precisely when we need to let the unconscious show us how to heal. Though the ideas about affirmation and visualization are not new, the science that backs it up is still emerging. Yet we are slowly but surely realizing that the relationship between our thoughts and our bodies can be measured. As the Nobel Prize winner Elizabeth Blackburn, PhD, and her colleague Elisa Appel, PhD, found, telomeres, the end caps on our chromosomes, are affected by thought. That means that although positive thinking doesn't affect our DNA directly, it does affect the way our genes express themselves, which can have profound effects on both our health and our experience of being alive. Imagery concentrates our thoughts and makes them real in our bodies. As new research emerges about stem cells, which I see as science's answer to the creative life force, it appears that they are affected by how and what we think. Studies are affirming what holistic, spiritual, and often indigenous healers have been saying for centuries. There's power in recognizing our own role in the healing process, because our minds affect everything, right down to the cellular level. The cells of our bodies knows their job. They want to support us by doing what they're here to do. As living human beings, we set our intention. Then our cells ally with us to manifest it. It's our job to juice them up with life force. But from that point forward, they are participants in everything that happens. The form of medicine I practice, which I call living medicine, takes the idea of holistic medicine beyond the medical practitioner. It's a collaborative model between healer and patient that uses therapeutic modalities to enhance and strengthen the life force within a person. The modalities help the healing to take place, but it's important to note that they don't do the healing, they merely direct it. In living medicine, our own bodies are actually the driving force in our well-being, and the body naturally includes the mind. Our role is to trust that and to give ourselves the love they need to thrive. This is true self-love. Isn't she amazing? An amazing woman that looks at medicine and the medical world in a totally different way than what we've been used to. That we have more power than we realize, and inside, and our bodies are magnificent. And love is always the answer. Love yourself. Love everyone around you. And I send you my love. Until next week. Bye for now.